So just realized that anybody who only watched the last BonCon, Black Consciousness, we're what, on 5 or 6? Now we're on 7, maybe. Um, didn't get the answer to the question. So we're still working on me explaining, telling you why we had this consciousness conversation. All right. Again, this is important stuff. So your brain might not be going, "Oh, we're having so much fun," um, but that doesn't mean it's not important. Our brains are stupid. It's actually not important. Consciousness is literally an unimportant question. It's that's kind of what the whole last videos have been about. Oh yeah, we were supposed to end. It's just should have stopped where with the video where I ended it saying there's no point blathering about a question that just feels like a question but isn't really a question. Anyway, um, so pessimism, um, and so I guess he came across an article while we were together that talked about future anticipation, and when we imagine positive futures, the article compared imagining positive futures to imagining negative futures. There's, of course, some advantage to imagining negative futures, preparing for them, blah blah. Um, and then it was also talk about the advantage of thinking about positive futures. And I think that my dad said maybe I could. My dad said, "Oh, maybe." Or I'm not gonna do an accent. Maybe I could. Well, I'm doing an American accent. I'm not gonna do his. Which, by the way, British say is American. The American say is British. So actually, so whatever I do will be fine, right? Oh well, I how he doesn't speak like that. Oh boy. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, so my name is France. I'm not Irish. Oh, I can't stop doing Irish. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm from London. No, fuck. I'm I stop. Okay, I my name is Francis. My name is Francis Lawrence. No, Francis. Francis. Frank. Frank. And what were we talking about? Consciousness. Oh yeah, yeah. So, so I'm just gonna do whatever. Am I embarrassing myself having laughing alone? Are you guys? Do you guys? So I'm Francis Lawrence. I'm Francis Lawrence, and I think if you ask my opinion, here's what I think. I'll tell you. That I'll tell you. What I think. I'm gonna do a Welsh now. This is a Welsh accent. What I think is that now I'm going to do French. No, that's not quite French, but I'm trying. So, okay, my name is Francis Lawrence, je sais pas. And basically, I think that consciousness. Bon, j'ai vraiment perdu le fil. Je sais plus. On s'amuse bien. Hein. Qu'est-ce que je disais, putain? Ok, écoute. Moi, je suis pas Paris. Je m'appelle Francis, comme Aïs. Et ok, now I speak in English. Et écoute, I think that the consciousness. Ah oui, c'est ça. Ok, oui. I am very pessimist. Et so I I am going maintenant. I am going to consciously think in a way more positive. Et and my son, he say to me, ah no, papa, that doesn't mean anything. that is meaningless to say that you will now consciously do this. Okay, now I explain to you, and I keep the accent because I'm amused. Et du coup, I was au téléphone. I was on telephone. We were au téléphone. We were on telephone with my father, and because we use "with" differently than you in English, so we can be inclusive. You understand? So we and my father, we with my father. That mean me and my father. That mean we include my father. Okay, um, so my father, he say to me, um, okay, I read that in the article it says that when we are older, time pass more quickly than when you are younger. And my son, he said to me, yes, it's a question of how much attention is paid. Anyway, so I say, okay. I said to my son, now I will consciously start to slow down and try vraiment, try really um, to slow down, um, because time pass very quickly. I am 60, 15, and I'm sorry. I want to just move on, but that was really funny. Um, 60, 15, and so anyway. So I am saying that yes, I will consciously now do this. And then my son, he said to me, no, that means nothing. I will consciously do this. So après, he proposed me a way euh, that time passe more slowly. And so my son, he said to me, bon, it's in the video, mais he say to me, Papa, here is what you do. Here is what you no here is what you do. You install some new mechanism in your brain, and what you do is you decide to engage more with the environment, um, at tell time at some time or some time, and you practice. There is no oh, I consciously decide and I do. No, now I'm doing like a weird. I remember one time I did a French accent for some French people because they said that when I speak, normally it was too hard for them to understand. And one time, like, they were having trouble understanding me, so I like said a word, an English word with like a French accent, and all of a sudden they understood. And so we joked like, "Oh my gosh, if you spoke the French accent." So then I tried to speak with the French accent, and it may have been exactly what I did now. And they're like, "Wow, you sound like an Indian." You're gonna understand this if you've lived in Paris. You sound like a dude at a La Chapelle épicerie, um, not Porte la Chapelle, right? 'Cause that's where the Africans are, but at La Chapelle. Anyway, I'm just showing off. So, but they said that I sound like an Indian, speaking French. I think it's just my face and my eyebrows and my color and stuff, but that's what they said. And I started to hear it now. as I was anyway. But I continue. I do see why not. So so me, Francis Lawrence, the papa de Harris, the papa Harris, hein. My son, he said to me, there is no consciousness. Enfin, no, he said to me, that mean nothing. I will consciously decide because I say that. And my son, he said to me, that mean nothing. You you have some mechanism, your mechanism in the brain and the brain, and now you need to practice, engage, how you say, engage with the environment, and time will be slow because uh, more attention you pay, more attention you pay um, per time, more slow time. Um, anyway, so in the conversation, Harris say to Papa Francis, he say, he say, he say something. He say, yes, Papa, no, no consciously decide, and so and so I and so I send to my son, who I just wanted to practice, say a word that has H, without the H, because if you want to do a good French accent, better than this, uh, uh, one thing that you need to do is always, if there is an H, you do not say it. If the word starts, no, now I am moving into German. No, no, I'm not. I don't know what I am doing. Or convenient. Okay. Anyway, what was so if if the verb starts with a vowel, a vowel, then you aspirate, like there is an H. For example, um, hit, E I T T E I T, hit. But if you want to say the word hit ou hit, hit ou hit, hit ou hit, now you do not say the H, you say it ou eat. Okay? That is my, that is one advice pour toi, for you. We're having such a good time, aren't we? And I don't understand how you can put a mean comment because I don't have friends. You understand that? I live in a van and I try to think and I try to help y'all out by doing the understanding for y'all while you guys pay for your heating and cooling and amenities. Um, well, no, it's a little bit less direct than that. I'm coming up with the ideas, and someone else will, not drink while he explains them in 5 minutes, so that you can then have a better understanding and better life. Okay, so anyway, so my dad, He yeah, so he would so that's how it all started. That he read this thing about time and he was like, okay, so I'm going to consciously blah blah. Here's another thing. Let me give you a real example because this one's hitting me right now, and I think that because it's hitting me, that's triggering an impression that it's good to speak out loud, and so I shouldn't just stop recording right now. My dad forgot how to drive manual. He tried a few years ago. Right. He tried a few years ago, ended up really messing up the rental. So now he's no, 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 don't. So I did all the driving, and which meant that there were times when either I didn't have data for one reason or another, and so where he needed to guide me, or maybe I was driving, so I wasn't going to manipulate the GPS, and so it was up to him to guide me. And he's a human brain, so he did not somehow like magically give me perfect directions. And one thing that was really funny and really like, how can you think that you're anything other than a human brain, was how consistently and often he would say turn there. And oh, by the way, sorry, when he points like this, turn there. And I'm driving, by the way, did I mention that? So it's a whole nother thing to look at where his hand is and to try to run the spatial mechanisms, the visuospatial mechanisms, to understand that that means like the second exit of the roundabout, because roundabouts can be tricky, right? Sometimes there's 5 exits to the roundabout, and he's like, go there. And the vehicle's moving, the vehicle's turning, he's looking at his phone going like that. So, and that's okay, right? I understand the human mind well enough to not be upset about that. If I ever got upset, because you will see some facial expressions in the dash cam footage. If I got upset, it was only because it was like the hypocrisy that annoyed me. The fact that, one, that he would get annoyed at me for not understanding certain directions that he would give, even though they were not, I didn't think, understandable, or that this isn't the time to be annoyed about that, or there maybe even isn't a time to be annoyed that I didn't understand that signal. And then two, the fact that he would get very upset. And that's the point, is that twice on the trip, at least twice, and I have it recorded once, he said that one takeaway from his experience with me is that he's going to be more patient with my mother. Because, I mean, there's one time when he was and this was recorded, and we had to find a place to park, and he was just giving me non-responses and just really failing to just type in and find a place in the app and then get me there. And that's okay. But what makes it less okay is how he wouldn't tolerate that from another. And that's what he said in that moment. He said, "Man, you're really doing a good job, because if I was in your place and your mom was in my seat, um, I'd be yelling at her, just find me a fucking parking spot." Here's the thing. It's good and well to like say that, to have words, to consciously say that, for words to come out that respond to the self's behavior. But and so long as you believe there is this consciousness entity, you'll think that it's okay to stop there. Except that's not how the brain works. I'm almost positive you've had this realization before. There's no way this is the first time that you've given. I mean, clearly you don't have giving directions down. If you're talking to a driver saying, go there, if that happens more than once, and so we can't attribute the first time to a stroke, then clearly you're not good at being a passenger giving directions. So if you're not good at that, okay, maybe you drive a lot of the time, but there has to have been times, maybe not. Maybe this is his first time ever being in the passenger seat and realizing that it's not the most, it doesn't always go well. Maybe. All right, fine. Okay. This is my mechanism that I want to agree with people, and I want to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I want to find the truth in what other people are saying. So it wasn't truth that just like made me. Let's suppose that I was right now to accept whatever I just accepted. Don't remember what it was, but whatever we're talking about now, it wasn't because truth came in because I was thinking clearly because I was reasonable. No, it was because there is a mechanism, a compulsion in me to if the counter evidence isn't salient, then to go with whatever is proposed, whatever the original thing is, whatever the PM is. If the AM and the distance between the AM and the PM aren't salient to me, those two things, then I'm happy to go with the PM. So what's the PM here? Now we have to get back, catch up again. What are y'all talking about? We're talking about the I will. He said, I've learned that should be more patient with your mother. Here's the thing, all right, look, I don't know what the last few sentences were. There were some ellipses. Those aren't going to be finished. But the payoff is that there are things that are going to be said and that have been said. So, you know, give us a like. So, so my and maybe it's taking away that I find myself I'm because I'm watching the show too. I'm not watching it with your brain, but I'm still watching with a brain other than the showrunner or the what's being produced, and I am having fun because it's all ridiculous and silly. A little bit of it's true, but yeah, we can have a laugh, we can have. So anyway, we're having fun. I hope that me enjoying me isn't ruining you having a laugh at me. Because listen, I'm not doing it intentionally. And I'm probably not even noticing all the funny, stupid shit I'm saying. I just some of it, right? So if you see me laugh, you can laugh at my laugh. You can be like, he doesn't even get how stupid he is. You can laugh with me. Oh yeah, we're all laughing at whatever was just said and whatever. Just don't be, let we're having fun. So don't don't find an excuse not to. So oh, and I have some soju. We did one apple, one grape, and we're back on apple. I thought we had. Do we have four then? Oh no, these might be from today because I do feel about that level. Well, I haven't eaten really. No, I don't. I don't know. I don't know whether we bought four or three. Anyway, so all right, I'm really just taking advantage. All right, let's focus. Excuse me. So this video was part two of giving the very simple explanation of where the consciousness conversation We've done that now. Come from. I'm just gonna leave it at come from because you understood. So, and then we were like talking about how Dad says a lot of things that with this mythical consciousness thing, stuff like consciously deciding to do this, consciously like overcoming our biases, or some meaningless thing like that. Like, Dad, why don't wouldn't doesn't let me know whether this sounds like a reasonable thing. Enel, that's his wife's name. That's my mom's name. Enel. Oh no, we do the French. No. We do whatever come out. Okay. Enel. Hey. Why don't you consciously decide to be on time for the things, I can only do the French. I can try. Okay. I have alcohol. I do another accent. Okay. My yes, my wife. No, it's look, we just don't. That's not what we're doing right now. Anyway, accents isn't the thing. So if I want to do French, I'm just gonna do French. Oh, but why can't I? Why can't I do an accent that would be like oh gosh, I really can't do a British accent. Wait a minute. Let's see whether let's see. Okay. Okay, do this thing. Let's see what we can do. Let's in it, in it. London, London, bruv, blood, in it. Do the thing. In it. Do the thing. Okay. Nah, nah, I can't get into it. It's not. Sorry. Okay. So, hey, my wife. Why don't you consciously decide to be on time for the things? Because you know that you have a time blindness, and so I think that you should consciously decide to not do the time blindness and to leave early, and and that yeah, actually that's full circle. That don't worry if you don't, that you shouldn't. But full circle for my parents' relationship, like yeah, and also this concept of consciousness. It goes back to in the reality of my parents' relationship. Yeah, my dad continues to ask for things that my mom doesn't or can't provide without coming up with a system by which she can provide it. There is a reliance on this magical conscious self. A reliance, by the way, I have to pee. So, by the way, so I mean, I'm saying it, I said so because so we are gonna have to make this quick, but I really want to. By the way, this is big. It's so funny because my mom does not hold my dad responsible as a conscious being. I don't know whether my dad. I don't know whether he like says, "Hey, why don't you just decide to be on time?" I think he just gets angry. We're late. Goes in the car, waits angrily, and calls her and says, "Where the fuck are you? What are you doing?" I don't know whether he says whether he, but I feel like his frustration with her being late, it has to be it has to be rooted in some expectation of the human mind's ability to like just do differently. And that's the integration myth. Look, if you follow on this channel, you're like, yep, 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 yep. But it's so funny. My mom does not hold him responsible as a conscious being, and it's something that we as the kids are learning. I've learned to not hold myself, my sister, my mother, and my father as like hold them responsible as conscious beings, and I hope they do the same as for me. And my mom's really good at doing that, and so she doesn't like get super frustrated like why isn't Eris like doing blank or why isn't Eris understanding blank. She's a very accepting, you know, and Cairo, my sister, has very high expectations of the people around her and high expectations of herself. Nobody meets her expectations. She doesn't meet her expectations for herself. And so Cairo, if you're watching this, understand consciousness isn't really real. Your expectations are unreasonable. You're not a spirit that can just do blank. So anyway, but yeah, that's really funny. And I hope that this has the impact for some audience at some time in some place that it's having for me. Maybe for my mom, or maybe for someone who just really gets it or has similar experiences. But my mom does not hold my father responsible as a conscious being who, if he knows something, that should be reflected in his actions. If he wants something, if he thinks something, that should be reflected in his actions. She does not have those um, sort of expectations for him. And or also like, if you're a real person and like you're aware of how you're making me, and you're hearing this conversation and you're aware of how silly what you're saying is and how you're making me feel and you love me, well, that this like she has this incredible patience that I am learning with other humans. um that people aren't going to be what you want them to be, and people aren't these conscious same things as you. You are not this conscious. Well, my mom. I don't know that my mom understands that she probably thinks that she is like a conscious, real human being, and she's got a real head case for a husband, a head case for a son, and a daughter who's a little bit more functional, but a little bit of a head case. But the important thing is to understand that. All right, look, I look fat. I gotta pee. We gotta go. Nobody's watching this. Nobody's gaining from this. There's nothing left in the mug, but there will be. Here's the camera. Oh, where'd the cap go? Thought I saw it on my periphery. That was not it. It's a fake reconstruction. I mean, it was a real reconstruction, but it wasn't a reconstruction of what's. Oh, there it is. Oh, I still have to pee though. So anyway, that's just really incredible. Um, watch the documentary. I'm gonna call it a documentary, but watch my video series about my experience. My dad judged both of us. Um, and yeah, all right, I gotta go.